Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I saw a tweet today from my boy Alex Hoops, and he was talking about how Deandre Ayton might be a better fit than Rudy Gobert for the Dallas Mavericks. So we have game number 1 of the Western Conference Finals starting tomorrow. Personally, I think Golden State ends up winning the series, but even if Dallas does win it and they go to the NBA Finals, Dwight Powell at that center position, he's done a great job, very mobile. I look back especially to the Utah and Phoenix series, he's really able to kind of help close that gap between when he gets picked between the defender and the three-point line. So I think Deandre Ayton's an interesting candidate. Basically the reason I think Deandre would probably be a better for Dallas than Rudy Gobert is essentially because Rudy's on a contract. Deandre Ayton, he wasn't alone. The Phoenix Suns, they just had a horrible, series in general, but they just got knocked out by Dallas. So, Deandre Ayton, he had a bad game 7 specifically, but you're still looking at a career 16 and 10, couple of blocks per game. This past year, 17.2 per game and 10.2 rebounds. With Gobert, he's under contract. Ayton, last year, and he wants out. I don't know if he doesn't necessarily want out, but he wants more respect. He wants money. He wants to be paid a max contract by the Phoenix Suns, and we'll see if Phoenix decides to do it. I don't really know what the future of Phoenix holds, but I would imagine Deandre Ayton is going to be headed out. So, this way you don't have to give up you don't have to give up any players, but you don't have to give up, if you're doing a Rudy Gobert trade, you don't have to give up all this value. Part of what makes Dallas so good is all the role players, right? The Mavs run this heliocentric offense around Luka Doncic, and you need to surround him with shooters, and you need to surround him with guys who can attack and finish at the rim. So you want to keep your Dorian Finney-Smith, you want to keep your Reggie Bullocks, you want to keep your Brunsons, your Dinwiddies, you want to keep as many players on this roster as you can. And if you're going to do a sign as opposed to a trade, that's a lot better. Offensively, I think Deandre Ayton is much better than Gobert. I think defensively, Gobert, the decoy, is much better than Ayton, but Ayton can still protect that rim. He's still a great lob threat. Luka Doncic loves his pick and rolls. I think Ayton, offensively speaking, long term, is a much better option than Gobert. So keep in mind, Gobert turns 30 in this offseason. Ayton's just finishing up his rookie contract with Phoenix. Gobert's 30 years old, about to be 30 years old, and he's on this 5-year, $205 million contract, getting paid currently about $35 a year. By the time he's 33, 34 years old, when his contract would be up, and if he was on the Mavs, they would have to pay him $45 million. And at 33, 34 years old, I have a really hard time believing that Rudy Gobert is going to be, still that guy. Maybe he'll be serviceable, but I think there's a lot more upside. I think there's a lot more potential with having a guy like Deandre Ayton where you can kind of build around him. He'd get the love and respect he deserves in Dallas. He kind of gets overshadowed by, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Obviously, you do have Luka Doncic, but, same class, kind of cool. Him and Luka's connection would be sweet. It really would. So, I'm not saying the Mavs necessarily need to go out and get a center like Rudy Gobert or Deandre Ayton, because especially if they were to, find a way to win this series, you're making the NBA Finals with Dwight Powell and your current squad. It's is there really an issue? But I don't see the harm, especially if you can retain, if you still got Dwight Powell, throw him on the bench. Deandre Ayton, you can just get a lot more flexible. You can throw a lot more variations out there. So let me know what you guys think about this potential signing down below. Hit the like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later.